Hello everyone, it's Roxy and welcome down the Bitcoin rabbit hole. Today we're gonna see how to create a crypto inheritance plan. That's level 6.1 of the course. It is the last chapter. To do that, we're gonna use Crypto Inheritance Plan by Pamela Morgan. Great book. I know it's gonna be annoying for you. I know it's something you don't wanna do. I know you're tired of the course because you've been doing it for a week, but this is the final stage. That's it, guys. If you can complete this task, even though it's gonna take 30 minutes, you are fine. You can stop everything. This is the last stage. So we keep up the good work, and we finish that before chilling out. Let's go. Warning, falling down the Bitcoin rabbit hole brings freedom. So why would you create an inheritance plan? Simply because Bitcoin is digital cash. As I told you, you are in control of your private key. You hold those funds, you own those Bitcoin, you have a cold wallet solution, and you are sovereign over your money. The issue with that is that if something happened to you, so if you have a car accident, if you die tomorrow, or if you lose your memory, those Bitcoin could be gone forever, simply because you are the only one that know how to access them. You are the only one that know where those private keys are stored. So with this plan, with what we're gonna set up now, you are gonna guarantee that your loved one will have access to that money. It is so important because I don't care how much money you have, and it doesn't really matter. Bitcoin are worth a lot, and if it's worth anything for your loved one, you should probably spend 15 minutes, half an hour, maybe even an hour to plan for that for them, simply because you don't want it messy. So what are the 4 objectives of this book and this video? First of all, it's going to create a crypto inheritance plan, so your heir, so the people you love, will have access to the money only once they need to access it. So you're not going to give them the money while you are alive, you're going to give the money once you are dead. That is the main issue. The second point is going to be to verify your security and make sure everything is running smooth. The third point is going to be about limiting those inheritance issues. So you know how it is, when someone dies, it's always a mess in the family. We want to minimize those issues by setting a clear plan before you die. It's like a will. A will is meant so it's easy for everyone to know exactly what they're supposed to do. We're going to create the same for your Bitcoin, so no one is starting fighting over them in your family or it's all messy and stuff, right? And the fourth point is really about like upgrading that security so you know exactly that you didn't do a mistake in the past. If that is something you feel like you need, we're gonna start straight up. So what do you need? You need half an hour of highly concentrated mind. You need to be ready, you need some paper, you need a pen. Ideally, if you have a large amount of money or you want to, you should buy Pamela's book, Crypto Inheritance Plan. So right now, what we're gonna do is basically the first part of this book, which is a quick guide. If you wanna go in depth because you hold a lot of funds, because you've created something more complex, because in your scenario, you really need to pay attention, then get a book. It's accessible almost everywhere. You can just buy it on Amazon. It's really convenient. It's a great book. She gave me the right to use it for this course. So thank you so much, Pamela. Truly get it. The last thing you're gonna need is probably 2 envelopes because we're gonna be writing a letter. And you need, time, mind, motivation. I know it's gonna be annoying. It's gonna be half an hour, maybe an hour that you're gonna be stuck with me doing that, but it is for your own good and for the people that you love. So when you do it, think about your kids, think about your loved one. That should get you through. Let's go, guys. All right, you know what you need. What do you do not need? That's something important, right? Well, with this plan, if you're gonna follow Pamela's work, you do not need a lawyer. You do not need a smart contract. You do not need to make something complicated. You can keep everything simple. That's the whole point. So that's where we're gonna aim. Since everyone is different, you need to understand that there's something in the security space that we call sure. So it's basically a compromise you will have to make between security, usability, resiliency, efficiency. So it's not gonna be perfect, but you can get something that is good enough. And that's what we're gonna try to set up. Alright, so before we start, we really need to understand that every single person is different, right? So based on your case, your life, whichever wallet you picked, how much money you have, and all the good things we saw before, you're gonna have a different letter, different crypto inheritance plan. So it's gonna be adapted to you. As always in my course, you need to do the effort yourself. I'm gonna give you the instruction, but you need to do it. The letter that we're going to be writing down is basically in 3 steps. The first one is going to figure out who are the trustee one. Those are person that you're going to be writing their name down, and it's person that your family will go and seek help if needed. The second part is going to be an inventory of all your Bitcoin holdings. And the third point is going to be really to like make it legal, finish it up, and make a copy. Let's start with the first point. All right, so the first thing we need to consider before writing down the letter is who are the trustees. So what is a trustee? It's simply someone that's gonna help your family recover those assets if they need help. Basically, what you need to understand is that you are the crypto expert. You are that Bitcoin guy in the family. You are the one that's been talking about Bitcoin for quite some time. You are the one that owns it. So if you die, if something happens to you and you're not here, your family just lost the best guy they had to find out where the money is, because it's kind of weird for people to understand that the Bitcoin are literally stored in a wallet where you control like that private key, right? So people are gonna freak out. You're dead, they're gonna panic, they're gonna be crying, and now they need to figure out where the money is. So the idea here is to put the name of a couple of persons that they can text, that they can call, and those persons should be able to answer them from all their doubts, help them recover if needed. You've basically told them who they should seek help if needed. So those persons should never have access to the Bitcoin. They should simply be here to help the people you love recover the asset. So what you're gonna do is write down on a table who are those guys. So you're gonna identify those persons in your head, you're gonna write it down on a paper, and then you're gonna put a couple of characteristics next to them. The first one is gonna be their Bitcoin skills. Are they knowledgeable about the tech? Do they know what they're doing? Can you trust them on the technical side? The second point is gonna be, can you trust them as a person? So for example, if you can put your brother, because like you've been into Bitcoin together for quite some time, obviously that person has way more trust than a random dude on crypto Twitter. However, it is possible that that random dude on crypto Twitter knows way more about Bitcoin, so your family can go seek answer to that person, but then seek help physically with your brother, right? So you're gonna be differentiating basically who is gonna be the person that's gonna help your family. You give them a different type of person to contact. They should never trust only one person, because everyone can make a mistake. Instead, you should trust multiple persons to help them throughout the whole questionnaire. The third point is obviously going to be the contact information. So you need to give the name, the address, maybe an email address, so a means so they can know exactly who they are. And let's say you are like really deep into Bitcoin and you are like pretty hardcore on privacy, and you've decided to put the name of someone that is like on the internet, then maybe set up a type of question, a PGP key. I know it's getting tricky here, but like really plan so you're sure you're talking to the right person. The last point is going to be, do they own Bitcoin or some other crypto? It's usually easier to have someone that already has some Bitcoin, simply because, well, he's in the same game as you, right? So obviously it's going to be easier to help if you know what you are doing. If you're really scared, let's say you're just a regular mom and you watch this video because, well, sadly you lost someone and you need to recover those assets for that person, and you don't know anything about Bitcoin, in that case, you can like pick someone that you trust, like an uncle, a brother, a kid, and that person is going to learn the process of Bitcoin, right? And when that person has learned fast enough to understand what's going on, he can help. That's the whole point. So I know it's a weird topic, but it is important. In addition to those trusty person, I usually personally also add some educational content. I know it's maybe not the best thing to do, but you can basically add, go check Andreas Antonopoulos' video. He is a great teacher and will give you the basis. This is what I set up for mine, for example. So let's say you are taking my course and you want to put my name. Well, don't put my name. I'm not gonna answer your family's call. I'm not gonna try to help your family. However, if you just want to link them to my channel where they can try to learn about Bitcoin and watch this video that helped you set up the plan, you can do that, right? But I should not be that person. Same as with Andreas. Andreas should not be that person that's gonna help your family. In case you really are afraid or you don't know what's going on, you can pick some services that have specialized in the crypto inheritance plan. So they're basically lawyers, services that could try to help you. I will try to find some link below, but it's really a more complex topic and I don't know them well enough to recommend any. You will have to do your own research based on what is available in your country. Number 2, we need to figure out your crypto inventory, and that is gonna be a mess. Like honestly, this took me so long. It actually took me days because I was trading actively. So if you have something really complicated, if you've been doing a lot of Bitcoin, a lot of crypto with different wallets everywhere, it honestly could be a mess, but you have to do it. The principle of that crypto inventory is basically to create a screenshot of where are those assets right now. So hopefully, if you've been following the course, you have something easy, which is basically 2 folders with the private key inside, and you've organized everything. And that's why I told you to do that. If you didn't, because like me, you started way before and you did a lot of shitty things before figuring out how it worked, then you will need to go back, figure out where your money is, write it down, and be clear. There's a couple of things we should do before get starting on the inventory playlist, or at least like table that we're gonna create. First of all, it is not the time to change it. It is not right now that you should stop that video and go move your Bitcoins, or that you should like sell some shitcoins or altcoins, right? I know it's tempting, it is not. You need to stay focused. It's hard enough what we're doing right now. If you start like changing everything, it's gonna be a mess. So stick up with the plan. Just do right now an inventory, and if you feel at the end of that inventory that you have a shitty one and that you should sell your altcoin, or that you should like move your money to a better software or a better wallet, then do it after, because trust me on that. So basically, the inventory is simply gonna go like that. You're gonna think at every single places, wallet, software that has some Bitcoin. That can be an exchange on a custodial basis. So you're gonna check every single exchange that you've used, either a DCA solution, Bitstamp, Kraken, Gemini, BitMEX, Binance, Kraken, Coinbase, whatever the exchange that you used, you're gonna make sure that you don't have money over there. And if you do have money, you write it down. So you're gonna be writing basically, so the table is gonna, so using that book again, the table is gonna be divided basically in sections. So you should see it on the right. Just for me, I'm gonna read it again. So it's gonna be device, software, asset, backup, password, and notes. The idea is, so for custodial, it's gonna be basically on your PC, it's gonna be Binance, it's gonna be Bitcoin or other shitcoins, and how to access them is gonna be through your password manager, right? And 2FA. Small note, important to say, you here are not allowed to log into your crypto platform and withdraw the money. In a lot of jurisdictions, it is illegal to log into someone else's platform and get the money out, right? You will need to go through court or at least like ask for a permit and show a debt receipt so they can withdraw the money from the exchange. So that's why you, first of all, should never have money on an exchange. And second, it's a mess if you do when you die. So try to consider that. All right, so the exchange is gone. Then you're gonna go for your mobile wallet. So basically, have you ever used Green Wallet, Samurai? Do you do Lightning Network? All of that should be planned down. So you're gonna write it down. You're gonna say, I've used my OnePlus 6, for example, to run Samurai Wallet, and in it there's some Bitcoin, and the backup of that wallet are stored in space 1, which is the first spot of the private key, and spot 2, that's gonna be the second spot of the private key. We're gonna go to that later. And you're gonna go down. So you're gonna do your Green Wallet, you're gonna do your Samurai, etc. Then you can think maybe as some software on your computer. Are you using MetaMask? Are you using some other Lightning solution, etc.? Then you're gonna move down to the hardware wallet. So do you use a Trezor, a Ledger? Do you have a cold, like a cold card? What do you have? And then you're gonna move one step lower again, and you're gonna think about multi-sig. Do you have a multi-sig setup? In that case, which wallet is gonna back up that multi-sig? Do you use passphrase? Basically, you need to pick up a pen, a paper, and think at every single space where you have Bitcoin. Never leave a sat without knowing where it is. And once you're gonna do that, you're gonna end up with a pretty decent screenshot of where is your money, right? And that's where you're gonna really realize that, all right, so it is pretty cool what I've done. My backup are well stored in 2 different places. Or you're gonna realize it's a mess. You're gonna realize you have a lot of money on an exchange. You're gonna realize that finally, like, it's not really efficient. You have some like private key flying around in your room, and you're gonna realize basically what mistakes you've done or what mistakes you haven't done. This, in a nutshell, is going to be your inventory. Hopefully, on the right or the left, there is something really nice that you can see, so it illustrates my point. But that is basically what you are seeing in case so someone next to you died and you have literally what I told him to write next to you. Or if you are writing it down, then your draft should be something along that side, and then you're gonna write it down on the official letter in a couple of minutes. All right, you now have all the elements in hand to write the crypto inheritance letter. So why are we using pen and paper? You know the deal, because no one is watching it on the internet. That's so convenient, right? If you do everything with a pen and paper, basically there's no trace online, and so it's more secure because you don't want to leave basically this roadmap to your money to anyone. So you need to be careful. I'm gonna write it down and it's gonna be on another video, so probably the next one. I want to keep this one more theoretical, and then you can literally just find the video where I write it down if you want like a concrete example. It's gonna be easier for me, and like you may have noticed, it's starting to be dark outside, so I need to anyway. Basically, the letter is going to be in 4 different sections. The first section is going to be a simply explanation to your loved one. So it's going to be something like, hey, I love you, because you're not a dick. You're going to tell them I love you. Even though if you didn't love them, just tell them that you love them. You know, like it's important for people to hear that from time to time. So just tell them that you love them and that you wish you were with them, or like keep good luck. The letter should never be a will. And the letter should not be like a reclamation. It should be simply a plan for your Bitcoin. So don't get confused about putting everything or being too sentimental, but you can still put like I love you at the beginning. Don't be a dick, right? You're gonna start with so simply an introduction. Hey, hello, I love you, I miss you. And then you're gonna go straight up down the why. And the why is gonna be basically, hey, I do own some Bitcoin. They are not stored as any regular asset. I have the control of those Bitcoin because I have the private key. You should be extra careful. If you fucked up, those Bitcoin are gone forever, right? Because we know it. So you need to warn them that to recover those assets is something difficult. You need to warn them that if they do a bad transaction, the money could be gone. You need to explain to them that the transaction, once done, it's done forever. At that point, you're gonna say, if you want to get educated, if you need help, follow those guys. And that's when you're just gonna plug in the helper section that we've created before. Then you're gonna move on and say, all right, in order to get access to my Bitcoin, here I have the information, and you're gonna plug in the inventory. Like we saw in the inventory section, you're never gonna put exactly where the private key is, but you're gonna put like a general idea. For example, for your hardware wallet, let's say you have backup 1, backup 2. For backup 1, you're gonna say backup 1 is at mom's place, backup 2 is at the bank, for example. Well, they know that it's at the bank, that they need to get access to the money in case they need it. And to get access to the bank, they know that they need to get like a death certificate to the bankers to get access to the vault. That is basically the idea behind that. It's a roadmap to the money. It's not the money itself. Same, if you use a passphrase, at that point, they're gonna read the inventory and understand, because you wrote it on the notes section, that the passphrase is associated with that private key. And so they know that once they've recovered the private key from the bank vault, then if they can recover the passphrase that is at, for example, Mikhail place, because I don't know, Mikhail is your best friend. I don't even know Mikhail. I should have picked a better name. Whatever, Mikhail's place. Everyone knows now. Everyone that has read that knows that Mikhail has something of yours. So you can go ask Mikhail for that piece of paper that he's holding on your behalf, and that is the passphrase. So now the family, your heir, the people that you love have access to the private key, and the passphrase, they have access to the money because they know where to look for. So that's why you're gonna be plugging in the inventory. And then the last section, it's gonna be basically, I love you again. It's gonna be, hey, be really careful, talk to some experts, I love you. If you need help, go see that. You should make it legal, you should go do that. Basically, the last little advice that you can give them. It's important to realize that that letter that we're gonna be writing down is not a Bitcoin strategy. You should never enforce your vision of Bitcoin into someone else. I'm not the right person to say that, because I've personally tried to convince my family that if were to happen something to me, they should not sell my Bitcoin, because I believe that they should hodl it. But it is not a decision you should make, so don't follow that advice that I just said. You should really let the other person be responsible for their new Bitcoin, because you're dead, it's theirs. and they should take control of the asset. That means that they should probably not keep everything like you created. They should move those Bitcoin into their own security so they understand what they've done. Let's put it simple, for example. Let's say you are someone that has a lot of Bitcoin because, well, you are wealthy or you've been here early. Maybe your Bitcoin is secured in a cold storage solution, in a multi-sig solution. So you have a cold card, a Trezor ledger created through Electrum. It's pretty hardcore. Like, to be fair, it is pretty hardcore for 99.9% of the people. I understand, you understand, but most of the people don't. So if you're gonna explain to your family how to get access to the money and they finally grasp it, everything, and they have access to that money, if you start telling them, oh no, yeah, keep it here, it's highly secured, and anytime you need it, you can just like do that, forget it. They should withdraw the money in a wallet that they control, that they understand, and then they should adapt their own security based on their need. The multi-sig that you've created was because of your capacity. It was because you needed that, because you wanted that, because you understand. Your family probably don't understand how a multi-sig worked on Electrum. So once they have access to the money, once they can withdraw the money, let them have their money somewhere else because it's just easier, right? And that's it. Then you're gonna sign it, obviously date it. On the theory side, you're gonna make a copy immediately, 2 copies, and you're gonna be storing them into an envelope, and you're gonna make it available but hidden. So basically, the idea is as follows. Let's say you do all of that, and then when you die, no one ever finds it. Then it's pointless. Like, we all agree it is pointless what we've just done. So you're gonna either tell your loved one that that paper is important and they should either keep it, and if you die, they open it. You can give it to a notary. So if you die, he give it to the family. So the notary doesn't have the money. He only had the roadmap to the money. And because it's a sealed envelope, well, if he opened it, then it's a shitty notary, and you know the deal, right? You should not leave it on the living room. You should probably hide it somewhere nice, like with your passport or something like that, you know? So it's something that it is accessible, but it's not straight up accessible by anyone because you still need to be careful. This, in a nutshell, is a crypto inheritance plan. Hopefully with all the animation I'm gonna be making, it's gonna be clear. And hopefully you can watch the next video where I'm literally gonna be writing it down for a scenario. That scenario is gonna be something really simple. It's probably gonna be a girl called Liz, and she will have Bitcoin on a cold wallet using a Trezor, and she will have like some extra security, like one passphrase for one account and a regular green wallet or samurai wallet. No money and custodial, simply 3 different things. A mobile wallet with a private key, so backed up by 2 different folders, like you know how I teach you, right? And then she's gonna have like, so a Trezor, same 2 folders, and then she's gonna have an extra level of security, which is a passphrase stored by, like, for example, her best friends. That is gonna be what I'm gonna be writing down. So I'm gonna do a full letter using that scenario. If you want to see exactly how it looks like, just check the next video. If it's on YouTube, check the one next week, or maybe we'll post both at the same time. That is it basically, guys. I'm just checking my card. All right, checklist. Yeah, Pamela made a great checklist. I'm gonna put it on the left so you can check it. If you've done all of those, then you are good to go. The final stage is gonna be to make it legal. So basically, you should talk to your notary. You should talk to the person in charge of your will and tell her that you've done that. Basically tell her, hey, could you add on the will that have some Bitcoin and I want to give them to that person? And tell her that, all right, I've dealt with the technical part of my inheritance plan for Bitcoin. We need to deal with the legal part. So basically right now, anyone that follow that can have access to the money, but legally that money maybe doesn't belong to him. There's a difference between physically holding the cash and legally holding the cash. And you need to consider that. Obviously, none of those are financial advice. I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a notary, I'm just a regular dude trying to teach you. Huh? You know that by now. So that's basically it. Make a copy, store them safely. You can definitely pick up Pamela's book, Crypto Inheritance Plan, simply because there will be so many more advice I just cannot tell. I'm trying to keep the video under 20 minutes, but definitely check Pamela's book, buy it, so many advice. What she truly advised is that what I just gave you is the first level. Literally, it is like the quick, easy thing to do if you hold a large amount of money. And when I say large, I mean anything. It's based on you, basically. Large is different in my mind than in your mind, I think, because we don't have the same country, we don't have the same background, we don't have the same expectation. But if you do feel like it is a lot of money, then you should pick up the book. It doesn't cost a lot, and follow her advice to make it even more resilient, even more secured. Simply because sometimes it's better to buy the book of an expert than to listen to some guy on YouTube. Anyway, this is it, guys. You fucking done it, and I'm so proud of you. Like, to quote Andreas, like, the people that reach that level is none. Like, I don't know a lot of people around me that have reached that level of security. Having everything on cold storage, not having anything on custodial, having a password manager, having a passphrase, having a multisig, and having a crypto inheritance plan adapted with 2 copies using pen and paper is a lot. And I'm truly proud of you that you've reached that handle. Truly, it is amazing. So if you are on the course, on the Teachable, there's some other video coming up explaining a bit about the future of Bitcoin, how you can get educated a bit more about Bitcoin, and like the closing of that whole lesson I'm doing. If you're on YouTube, please like, comment, subscribe, share it around. It's super important that people embrace a crypto inheritance plan. I think Pamela and Andreas have done an amazing job doing that for us. We simply need to follow their advice. I haven't created anything. I literally just follow their advice because they are the ones that know what they're talking. And yeah, it seems pretty logical, honestly, when I read the book. It does make sense when you think about it. It does make sense on many levels. Don't trust, verify. I verified with the ability I have to verify. I trust them because they are the guy that really like know what they're talking. And important to know, if you know Jameson Loop, the CEO, one of the CEO of Casa, which is here, he also advised for that. So there's a lot of consensus around the good practices. And if I've made a mistake, please tell me in the description. I will like try to update the video, but I think with that you should be set. Anyway, I've been speaking way too much. Congratulations on you for reaching that point. I'm really proud of you. I will see you for the next video. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. I'm Roxy. Take care. And thank you again for Pamela for trusting in me at the beginning. I had 0 subscribers, 0 like on Twitter. I had nothing, and I just texted her and she responded and she told me yes. Thank you, Pamela. Bye-bye. Everybody will have to make a choice. Ignore Bitcoin or adopt it. What's going to be yours?